All right, so I'm gonna put this input planetary on. You gotta time these, okay? You'll see the camera. Let me get, where's that light at? What you want to do, you'll have to lift your planetary up and get your planet gears here spun, and you'll line up the V notch here. There's a V stamped on this part of the housing, and then the V on each gear, and then line those, just match them up between those three. And then I just usually just come over here and pull up a stool right by this thing, and I'll just sit there, and you'll have to kind of push on it. I'm not going to videotape it because you can't see anything in there when I'm doing it, but you'll have to, sometimes you got to do it 2 or 3 times because it can be a real pain in the butt, but you'll have to kind of spline that all in there as you're trying to keep a little bit of tension on that, keeping a little bit of tension on your planetary set here to make sure it doesn't pop out. That way you don't get it out of time. Okay, so it's in there and it's timed. All 3 marks are lined up on the gears with the 3 marks on the center piece of the planetary there. So now we'll get the input planetary over on this little bench and we'll start rebuilding that. Alright, so I got, you know, the what is that? I think it's C3. No, what is that? Trying to remember what clutch that was. Anyway, one in the middle here. I can't remember which one it is. But got that. New seals on that. There's a piston here and there's another one here. And I need to put a, let me see here. That there steel plate will go on there. Like so. And then I got a new friction here. They didn't change this, did they, like they did on that 4050? I looked in the parts book and was trying to... No, it doesn't look like it, so... That'll go in there like that. Okay. And then this... It's got dowels right there. There's a dowel right there and a dowel right there. Which I got it 180 degrees out, never fails. That lines all that up. Okay, and we can put all the bolts back in that. We'll torque all those down. Gonna put the return springs back on it and put the main plate back on it. How did I do that? Oh, I got the wrong bolt in my hand. That's why it's not fitting on there. Got a lot done today on it, and we'll get this input planetary in. Oops. Okay. So what I use is I take some grease and all my return springs. I'll put some grease in each hole, and I'll put all these return springs in there and then flop it upside down and put it back on. Okay, so I got you want to put a little anaerobic sealer right around here because that's just, there's no seals there. And it just helps seal that up. That's an apply passage. And then I got a couple 3/8 guide studs that I slide over here. And I'll get it started on there. I'm not going to really show it because there's just no room. You can't see anything with the camera or anything unless I went back to putting it on my hat bill, which I probably ought to do. But I'll put it in there, then I'll get the shaft over here and I'll stick in it. That shaft right there I'll put in there and I'll turn that just enough to where I can get that to spline up, and then I can get the sun gear to spline up. and then I'll put it in there. So okay guys, so we got the piston seals on the PTO clutch piston, and of course the return springs in and the snap ring on. Here's the brand new hub. I just got done looking in the parts description. I looked at the old hub too, and there's, can't hardly believe there's not a thrust washer on that. Doesn't call for one. So so I got new steels for this setup, because usually if I don't have a clutch slip, I don't worry about the steel plates replacing them, because of the sole reason is they're not warped, you know. When they slip, they get too much heat on them, and they warp. And come on, get on there. It should be 6 steels and 6 frictions. Oh, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's hung up on me. There it goes. What the hell, huh? Got her in a bind. Pretty healthy clutch pack, all PTO is. And the last one. Okay, so now what I gotta do is I had to clean this up. This basically acts like the pressure plate here, and just bolt it on there. I got to get it cleaned up. We'll bolt it on, torque it down, and that'll be basically a new PTO clutch pack in it. And the PTO clutch will be ready for installation. So I'm just gonna wind up doing that. I don't know how long. It's almost 7 p.m. It's probably about all I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna get this on there and get it torqued down and bolted up, and I might just well, I'll probably come in the morning. I got a Kenworth out here that I gotta, most of the parts will be in tomorrow for it, but they'll just kind of show you what happened on it. Got a pickup here. I need to put a ring gear in. There's Duke over there. Hey Bub, what are you doing? One of the fumigators, I don't know if he must have backed into it. He must have backed into it with the toolbar up. But he hit that. Of course, this is a 2018 truck. It's a nice truck. So I got a new grill coming for it. Got this piece screen coming for it. Broke the gas rod, you know, shock deal for it. Broke that. Knocked a hole through the AC condenser. And you can see all the green refrigerant oil here everywhere. I need to pop the condenser off and just make damn sure they didn't get the charge air cooler. But so far it looks like he got fortunate and he didn't get the radiator. So that's going to cost him a little money. But anyway, well guys, I'll be back on another video on this one. So what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to go ahead and finish up this PTO clutch, and haven't decided whether I just want to throw it in there, or I need to put the output shaft in it first, I think. And then it's real fun putting those in. But anyway, I'll be back on the next one. On the next one, we'll be rebuilding C1, C2 clutch pack. We'll be putting a rear main seal in it, and then we'll install the flywheel. The completed C1, C2 clutch assembly will be bolted to the back of the flywheel, back of the crankshaft. And then I just noticed that on this shaft over here that goes through the output planetary and input planetary, basically the input shaft, this one sealing ring here, the ears are broke on the end. So I got to get on the parts deal tonight, if I gotta remember, and get the ceiling ring for that. And anyway, oh, another project. Let's go over here right quick. I'll show you something that I'm excited about. Of course, there's the hay squeeze, which I didn't get very far on. I got it running. Got both pedals wired and got them to where they'll switch over. But anyway, I got to get on that. But here's another hay squeeze project. Got another hay squeeze that the guy wants me to rebuild this engine. And if anybody knows anything, they know what this is. This is a 3306 Cat. I got to rebuild this engine, and he actually found a set of jake heads for it too. But whoever took the engine out, they took the manifold off, they took the lines off from the pump, and they left those open. I don't like that. That's not good. See the dirt and shit down in there. They're pretty hardy old girls, but we need to clean that out really good. But we need to find the manifold and the lines and all that stuff. But we gotta, I guess it was knocking. It was still running, but it was knocking. And they pulled it out and they had another engine somewhere they stuck in it. It looks like it came out of a loader, is what it looks like with all those. Yeah, it must have come out of a loader. The way the air cleaner is back here and all that stuff. But anyway, that's an upcoming project that we got to do. But I'm going to go on over here and finish this PTO clutch up and then call her a day. Alright, so next morning here, we're back at the 4450. Don't know how much I'm going to get done today. I got a bunch of service calls I need to go do. I'm going to keep pushing forward on this as much as I possibly can. I just remembered I need that ceiling ring for that one shaft. And I remember this one line, this stupid fitting right here, broke when I tried to take this line loose. So I need this T, and I need to figure out, I'm going to see if I can get it out of there. The broke off piece that's in the line. Trying to decide what to do next. I got the PTO clutch pack completely rebuilt. It's ready to be installed. But I think I need to put that output shaft in first. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the output shaft in first. And then try to get the PTO clutch installed. That's my next step. So this shaft here will go in from, this is the stub shaft that goes in and supports that PTO gear from this end of the case. You can't put the output all the way in because you won't be able to get that down in there because it sticks out too far. You got to pull it back about flush, stick your gear down in there, and then what I do is I try to get this in there. I got to get some oil on these seals that I put some new O-rings on the end of the shaft. But I need to clean this out a little bit, huh? Okay. Okay. So, trying to figure out where I'm gonna put this camera. Okay, so we gotta see if we can get this shaft, the stub shaft, in. You gotta get the bearing too. Stick the bearing in the gear. It's kind of a tricky situation, really. It's not the easiest thing in the world to deal with, that's for damn certain. Damn it. Get a screwdriver or something and get the gear up in the bearing cup. Okay. Damn it. Come on. Get your ass up in the hole, rabbit. What? What the hell's going on here? How come this is not? There it goes, okay. It's like, what the hell's going on? I gotta figure out, there's kind of a little plate that goes on there and a shim. I gotta figure out where the offset needs to be. So if that is like that, just gotta make sure that I can get that lined up once I go to M. It's not gonna hang me up here. So right there it should. I should have quite a bit of yeah, I should be able to kind of put that wherever I want it. Damn it. Don't make it easy for a feller. And don't make it easy on a guy. There we go. Now we're gaining a little bit on it. That'll kind of help support that while you're trying to get that in there. Okay. Get a tapper. See if I can get it kind of just it's going in really easy. Pretty much in there. Okay, so that's kind of supporting that gear. So now we should be able to go to the back of the tractor now. I'm wondering if I should go ahead and put that lock plate. No, it shouldn't shove that out because those two shafts I don't believe will even touch each other. Now, I'm going to come back to this shaft and spline it up and then work it back in there. I don't know. There we go. We're in. And you got to work this snap ring here. It can be a joy sometimes. There's no doubt about that. It can be an absolute joy, this one here. I got to get me. I think I took a pick, and once I collapsed it, I could shove the one side in. But basically, that snap ring, you pinch the two ends together, and you got to get it to where it comes. There's a recess that's machined into that case half back there, and you got to get it to pop into the groove into that recess. So, anyway, the PTO gear is back in it. That's what we want. It should come up and stop on the clutch brake. Oh, wait a second. What am I thinking? Yeah, it's not going to stop there. It's going to stop the output. The output's the one spline into PTO clutch brake. So that ain't going to stop nothing. There, the output will. Alright, so we put the charge pump in, new gasket. This gear here is the drive gear. And you'll notice that the bearing cup is in this gear, this side of it. It's not even really a cup, it's just machined into the gear. The actual, if you lose your bearing here, then you lose the gear too. Put that in there like that. And then, hang on. I don't remember, is there dowels here? Yeah, there is. Put your shims up here. Like so. I'll go there. I'll go, just like that, and then you'll put this in. hang on just a second. Let me get this situated here. You'll see how that goes on there, just like that. Now we'll get the bolts in that, torque that down. Then we got to put the line on that feeds the high-low valve. This is your high-low detent valve right here. And there should be one down here. Okay, just kind of run them up with the impact, and then I'll get they're 5/16 bolts, so they're going to be around 18 to 20 foot-pounds, something like that. How's everything? Everything's turning. Okay, that's what we want. Yeah, there's a line that goes on here, and it'll come over and go through. I'm trying to remember the hole that it goes through. It must be going through this hole right here, if I remember correctly. This would be the line right here. Oh, there goes the filter. I got to get 2 new filters for it as well. I got to get on the horn this morning and order a few parts. I'm going to try to just go as far as I can this morning and then run off and do a bunch of service calls. Yeah, it just goes in here like so. Feed it to that hole in the case half first, and then run it back over here, and then run it down and get a 7/8 wrench. Oh, what am I doing? I can't put that on yet. I got to torque these, and I'm not going to be able to get on. Oh wait, no. What am I thinking? I've already torqued that piece. Now I can get to these. What I'm talking about is I already torqued these here to 35 foot-pounds. I got to torque these here, so that's not going to interfere with anything. But that line will just come around and go into this case half and into the hole in the case and thread it on here. Take a 7/8 wrench, tighten it up. And then pretty much everything in the clutch housing is done. And then what we'll do is I got to order this one sealing ring. That's gonna kind of hang me up. I didn't know that one was foobarred. We'll throw the C1 C2 clutch pack up on this little makeshift workbench. We'll tear it down, rebuild it. We'll put this rear seal. I got a new gasket here. We'll pop these bolts out, pop the whole thing off, knock the seal out of it, reinstall this part of it, and then press the new seal onto the crankshaft with the seal installation tool. And we need to blow a bunch of this crap off of here that's got on there. But all right, let me torque this down and proceed. So I popped that little housing off, but now we got to get this wear sleeve off the crankshaft here, and let me see, where can I put this? Is that going to do us any good? Right there, I don't know, we'll see. Take a chisel, and you don't have to get carried away here at all. See, and it's not hitting it real square there. Let's see, is there a better place to get into this thing somewhere? Trying to get it, I can't really get it square like I want. I don't know if that's good enough or not. I'm gonna have to find a different chisel. That one's a little bit too big for what I'm trying to do. Most of the time you can get it kind of loosened up and get kind of on the edge of it here and pop it off. Just like that. There she's coming. See if I can get on this side and work it. There she goes. Okay, she's coming. Like I say, you don't want to get carried away. Just lightly tap and put a couple dents in it on each side, and usually they'll come off of there. You don't have to beat on it like it owes you money. There it is. Now, okay, there's the wear sleeve off the crankshaft. Just get it a couple whacks there like that and put a crease in it on each side, and then it'll come off of there. Now we got to get some brake clean, dry it out, clean it off in preparation for the new seal. Throw that over there with the old seal. Here's the new one. Seal installer, I bought it. It's in my pickup. Let me clean this up. Okay, so I got the seal housing. Hang on. Seal housing's back on there. Got this part of the seal installer tool on there. Here's the new seal. It's obviously going to go this way. Right here. Slide it over your tool, like so. I should have probably slid it on the crank first, but will suffice. You'll slide your tool over this, but you're going to have those bolts, so make sure you're clearing those bolts. And I just got this nut wrecking spanner here. Just run it on in. Pretty simple. And I'll press the wear sleeve and the seal onto a prescribed depth when the tool bottoms out. And there it is. Sometimes it's pretty hard to beat having the right tool for the job. So what I do is just do this and pop these two bolts out, pull the whole thing off as an assembly. And there you are. There's a new seal in there. Right like it's supposed to be. Gotta figure out where. Okay, there's a dowel. I don't remember which hole. Okay, so let's flip it over. I think what you want to do here is it's going to be the middle hole on this side. I think. Like a glove. And I gotta chain the flywheel down and torque these down. What I do is I got a short little chain that I've used over the years. What do we got going on here? Something ain't right, huh? No, that's not correct. Okay, we got a screw up here. So it must go. What's going on here? We got a hole that's not doing anything there. What do we got going on here? Obviously, we're off a hole or something here. Kind of see. Is that gonna be? Okay, that's making. Yeah, it was off. It was off a hole there. I just got a chain that I'll run a bolt in here through with a lifting eye or something, and run the chain through the lifting eye, and the same thing over here, and just chain it down. And when you're torquing it and the crank starts turning, it comes up against the tension on that chain, and then you can get a torque on the flywheel bolts and hold the crankshaft still. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, torque that down, and then we'll throw this big heavy gargantuan C1 C2 pack on the makeshift workbench there, disassemble it and rebuild it. I'll just show you the quick disassembly on this C1 C2 clutch pack. Obviously pull the bolts out of it. There's 4 3/8 bolts in it. You son of a gun, you. Leave this over here. Here's your piston assembly. We gotta find these springs now that decided to not be very nice to me. How many springs? So I gotta make sure all my springs are accounted for here. Okay, so everything's accounted for. You'll notice that there's some dowels here that the springs actually go over. Get all those springs and those dowels out of there. Pull your clutch disc. We'll inspect those. We're putting new on anyway, but just kind of curious to see what they look like after being in there for 30 years. Pretty damn good, really. Pull the hub out. Intermediate plate type deal here. Come out. And into the next clutch pack. Pull that hub out as well. Stay put, mister. And then your return plate on this end. There's going to be a piston on each end of this pack. So now what the guy has to do is both of these need to be put in the press. Pop the snap rings off, pull the Belleville springs off, pop the pistons out, put the new inner and outer seals on the pistons. Same on each end, and so on and so forth. Well, I kind of got done with all my service calls for the day. I finally made it back, and I got the piston seals changed out on these. So let's keep going here. Okay, so what do I need to do next? Gotta start stacking this one clutch up. Okay, so these go in there. there if I remember correctly. These are threaded, and these are the ones that aren't threaded, so I gotta... It's muggy and hot. Been trying to rain a little bit, but hasn't committed. Oh my gosh, man, I'm having a heck of a time here. Why don't you stick that in there and then go like that? How about that? And there's two more over here. Should be another. It's probably laying on. No, it's right here. Just put those in there for now and start. I should have a. I ran out of gloves. My wife had to order some more. I got some black ones, but half the time I can't even get them on my hand without those things tearing. I'm gonna put the hub on there. The hub there. And the disc. Okay. Another. This one will take 3. The other one takes only 2. Hold my mouth just right and I'll get it on there. One more disc. Come on. And then return springs all gotta go back in here. One of them fell on the ground. Yeah, one of them fell down here. Okay, let me, gonna need 2 hands for this situation. This has got a little dowel in it right here, and where did it go? I'm thinking probably right where this recess is, right here. Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's right where it went. Just like that. Okay. How did this all go down? Not like that. That thrust washer should ride right there. On that. Okay, so then you're gonna have 2 discs on this one. And not called springs, I just put on there wrong. Guess I shouldn't have put them on there yet. Okay. There. That one back on there. our return plate. And then the main housing should go on next. Ow, my toe. Figure out the orientation on this so it's right the first time, hopefully. This C1, C2 clutch pack is a heavy bastard. Okay, so I gotta remember. So there's 2 holes here, so that would be that hole, and I believe that hole. Those are the 2 bolt holes for that side. And then this dowel actually lines up in a specific location. I gotta find that. That would be this one right here. This leg here is going to go right there. So that's very helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna go